Hi everybody, good evening and welcome to F1 Tonight. As you can tell, we are broadcasting this evening a live race from our second race of the 2018 Season 1, and that will be Bahrain. Expect thrills, spills and much more. We'll be starting approximately 5 to 10 minutes, so stay tuned and we'll be with you very soon indeed. Good evening everybody and welcome to F1 Tonight, Season 1 2018, Race 2. We are at Bahrain this evening and expect some fantastic racing. I'm sure you will have. We're just going into Q1 now, so what I'm going to be doing is going to be running through the drivers' standings post Albert Park last week in Australia. Apologies for our YouTube viewers and also for our Twitch viewers. Unfortunately, we were not able to broadcast that to those mediums last week, but that has now been resolved. So we are live on Mixer, we are live on Twitch, and we are live on YouTube. So please enjoy. So Q1 is underway. We have 19 drivers with us this evening. So the only driver, unfortunately, that we are missing is Ruben Bowman, formerly a stoner of Haas for last year's 2017 final season and season champion. He's a Red Bull driver, but unfortunately he's not with us for the next few races, but hopefully be joining us as soon as he is able. So we're out now with Nicky Visser in the Sauber. Nicky did very well last week, came in 4th at Albert Park, so great show there for Sauber, and he's the initial one on the outlap there. Let's quickly run through. We've got Guido Ershine for Renault, and Guido came 5th last week for Renault. He set some fantastic Q times at Albert Park. Unfortunately, wasn't able to transfer that to the place he really wanted, which was a podium finish, but still respectable finish, 5th place there for Guido Ershine last week. And we're now with Ryan Dronig, and Ryan Dronig, well, what can I say about this young driver? He is the son of the number 2 Renault driver. That's Marcel Droning, and I believe he's around about 15 years of age. Put in his debut race with us last week at Albert Park, and my goodness, what a fantastic result. Came in 3rd place there. Ryan Droning got a podium finish on his first F1 Tonight 2018 race, so fantastic result for him. Great show, and expect good things from him this week as well. Then we have our I was looking at the colours there and they're all off. We have our Force India driver, and that is of course the one and only Miguel Torni. Miguel was racing last year for Toro Rosso, put in a very respectable finish in the championship, so he's certainly looking to put some points down. Then we have in the Mercedes, there is Xavier Sima, formerly Slim Shamy from last year, and again Xavier put in a fantastic result as well last week at Albert Park, getting 2nd place for Mercedes, and certainly some valuable points for them. So he was racing last year, sorry, Xavier Sima, I do apologise, got that wrong. He was racing with McLaren, formerly UF Gamble, and Daniel Van Tol, who we'll come to shortly, that's his teammate, was formerly UF Savage, and they were racing for McLaren, both of them last year. They are racing for Mercedes this year, and they're looking to set their mark in Mercedes. We nicknamed them the Chaos Twins last year in the McLaren for good cause. Fantastic racers, push all the way, and that was their one and only downfall. Hopefully they've resolved that this year, and it'll be very interesting to see how they perform for Team Mercedes in this first season of 2018. Just get this right here. Obviously we've already had some time set, so we have a 1:28.2 from Renault, Guido Airshine there. Just have a quick check, see what he's actually running on. So he's running on the Super Softs, so the better tyre for this race. So 1:28.2, and we go through the times now. And we have Martin Paardekooper. Martin, this year's racing for Red Bull, formerly raced for Toro Rosso. And so he's the only Red Bull, as we know. Unfortunately, Ruben Baumann is out. But he's put in a very respectable time there, 1:29.1. And then we have another new driver who also put in a fantastic result last week. And that's Ruud Windal for Williams, and he came in 8th last week, again on his debut race for F1 Tonight Season 1 2018. So he came in 8th, so again we're expecting great things from this Williams driver. Then we have coming up there Marcel France for Toro Rosso. Marcel was actually running with Force India last year, so great to see him in the new team. Nicky Visser, who we covered off earlier. Then this is the driver I was referring to. So where are we? Yes, Michael Torres. And again, great racer. So certainly looking for a good result from him, Marco Tony. Then we have Jerome Portmer. Jerome Portmer is running for Toro Rosso, formerly with Mercedes last year, but a great driver as well. Ryan Droning, who we've obviously covered off. Then we have Mark Stappers for McLaren, formerly known as Phenomenon, was racing with Sauber last year. Great driver as well. So again, expecting some great results from him. He is then followed by Damie Hartman, And Damien, I was referring to earlier, which I got cross wires on with the UF drivers there. This was Slim Shamey, and he was driving for Haas last year. Sorry, he was driving for Haas this year, was driving for Williams last year. Do apologise for that, just getting used to the names. Been quite a number of changes. Then we have Jonathan Donkel, and John, well, what can I say? He is the inspiration, the heart of the F1 Tonight crew, and he's racing for Force India, was with Red Bull last year, but don't underestimate him, great driver there as well. Then we have Peter Phillip for McLaren, was Peter F1, formerly with Williams last year, and then bringing up the last driver there, Boy Williamson, with Haas, was formerly Boyke for Sauber last year. So we've seen the Ferrari drivers, and I haven't covered them off. Sebastian Bogart, formerly Bo Ferrari last year, and his teammate, the indubitable Bas de Breen, who was Bas last year, Ferrari driver as well. They came in second and third, I believe, in the championship. So Sebastian Bogart set a 127.7. His teammate Bas de Breen has set a 128.1. Guido Airshine still there with that 128.2, but more importantly, drop zone. So from these 19 drivers, this is Q1, we will take 15 drivers into Q2. So what does that mean? Well, at this moment in time, we've had a couple of drivers drop out. One has set a time. So the one that was set the time was Marcel Droning for Renault. He set a 128.8. Xavier Seema, well, Xavier for Mercedes. Has dropped out. Not too sure what's happened there. Hasn't actually set a time as yet. Jonathan Dunkel still to set a time. Daniel Ventol still to set a time. And also Peter Phillips set a time. So of those 5 drivers, Marcel Droning, the only one that has set a time. So he's 128.8. And we're running with Peter Phillip now in the McLaren. While he goes around, and this track, for those of you that are familiar with this track, it is a complicated track. It is obviously a fast track as well. So if you're looking at the track head-on, the drivers actually run left to right, and there aren't too many turns. It's only 15 turns, 2 DRS points. So the first DRS point is on the start-finish straight, coming just past the pit lane, bringing you down to turn 1, which is a right-hander. And let's see if I can maybe get in car with the drivers on this, and he's actually coming round the back of the track here. Not too sure if he's got issues there. He's only in 7th gear. It's not sounding too great as he comes around turns 14, 15 now, onto the start-finish straight. So this is where the DRS point starts. We come down the start-finish straight, and we come to the first turn, turn 1, high braking point, turn right. Great opportunity for overtaking on this turn. Then we have a left kink, turn number 2, right, turn number 3, accelerate out of that, kick down the left-hand side as you're coming to approach turn number 4. And turn number 4 again, another excellent overtaking point as you take that right-hand turn there. Be careful on the exit with the traction as you go through turn 5. This is tricky, 6 and 7. You've got to have the balance of the car perfect. Come down to turn 8, hard, turn right there, turn 8. As you approach turn 9, that's your DRS activation point for the second DRS point. Come round the left hand, sharp left hand. Then you hit the second DRS point there after turn 10. As you can see there, that's another start-finish grid. Brings you down to turn 11, which is an uphill left. Keep going. Again, you've got to be careful with the traction as you're going round that long turn. And you've got a long turn right, turn 12. Be careful again with the car as you come down, approaching turn 14 now. Around turn 14, whoa, slightly off track there, turn 15, and there you are, back onto the start-finish straight. So thank you very much, Peter, for giving us that little run round there. So one time as well. Peter has set a time. He said a 1:33.7. Certainly won't get him through to Q2. But, I don't think he's been able to get much practice in this week, and certainly from the drivers that I've seen taking part in practice, they seem to be the ones that have got the better feel for this track. It is critical, especially when you're racing at this level. And remember, the F1 tonight are a league, if you like, of friends, but they have competed with other premier drivers in F1 2017 and certainly stood their own, and I'd be so bold as to say that I would classify them as the F1 2018 Premier Dutch League. It's difficult to refer to them as a league, as I say they are a group of friends, but certainly, you know, with it growing, they enjoy the sport, the real world sport, they enjoy the online sports, the esports aspect. So certainly very good drivers, and certainly stand their own with the best in Europe, if not certainly within Holland itself. So Peter Philip not doing any better. Xavier's jumped out. Daniel Van Tol's jumped out as well. So it looks like we're going to see Marcel droning through, unless somebody can beat that 1:28.8. There's only 2 drivers out on track that could potentially do that. It's Jerome Portma there. The Red Bull, and John Dunkel in the Force India. Let's see what they can do. Sebastian Bogart still got that best time of a 1:27.7. So looking good. We've only got 3 minutes left to go. It'll certainly be interesting to see how they actually do. So let's get in with these drivers here. Got limited time. Maybe enough for a lap and a half as John comes on to that start-finish straight. Looks like he's taking it easy. And, Ryan Droning there jumped up into second position with a 1:28.1. So again, this young newcomer stamping his mark here. He split the Ferraris, Sebastian Bogart and Bas de Breen. Yeah, these guys are going to certainly see him. It's a lively competition. Obviously, we are only in Q1. Anything can happen. He lacks, obviously, the race experience, but seems to do pretty well, certainly at Albert Park last week. As I said, performing a podium finish, 3rd place podium finish between Xavier Zemo in the Mercedes and Sebastian Bogart in the Ferrari. Let's see. So we've now got a few little change rounds. Michael Tour is still in 16th place. Jonathan Donkel's now moved up to 6th place. So the only driver, I think, out on track now that can do anything is Portma. He does. Takes 8th place with a 1:28.7. Marcel Droning in the Renault still holding out. He's still through to Q2. But what does that mean? Well, that now means that unfortunately Marcel France has dropped out for the Toro Rosso. Marcel with a 129.4 for that Toro Rosso. It looks like Miguel Torres is going back into the pit there. Sorry, Miguel Tony, not Torres, I do apologise. Miguel Tony there, going back into the pit for the Force India. So it's all down to this driver. Can he push Marcel Droning of Renault out in Q1? He needs to better that 128.8. He's got 129.4. He needs to lose, well, at least 7/10. He's got little time remaining. It's going calm. And this is what I say, this is so tricky, these turns here. He's lost a lot of time there. A lot of time. He's approaching the penultimate corner. Round turn 15 now. No, straight in the pits. He hasn't done it. So there you have it. Unfortunately for Toro Rosso, Marcel France will be taking 16th place on the grid. Miguel Tomi for Force India will be taking 17th, and Xavier Zima and Daniel Van Tol, the two Mercedes drivers there. Not too sure what happened. Looks like they'll be starting in 18th and 19th place. So there we have it. That's the end of Q1. So our provisional pole on Q1, Sebastian Bogart with a 127.723. Sorry, 793. I do apologise. Then Bahrein Droning, the newcomer, with a 128.154, and then followed by Bastien Breen, the other Ferrari driver, with a 128.186. So Ryan Droning is certainly putting Williams on the map for the start of this season. It'll be very, very interesting indeed to see how he progresses. His teammate, unfortunately, not a great quali for him. He's respectable. He's got into Q2, and I certainly expect him to move up there. I don't think he's had the opportunity to get too much practice in this week. So rude wind out. So these two Williams drivers, both new to the F1 tonight. So as we get ready now and prepare to go through to Q2. So there we have it, quickly run through there, 127.7, so Ferrari, Williams, Ferrari, then Dale Hartmann for Haas, Guido Ehrschein for Renault, Jonathan Dunkel, Force India, Nicky Visser for Sauber, Marco Pullen for Sauber, Jay Portmer for Toro Rosso, and Mark Stappers for McLaren, Williamson for Haas, Peter Phillip for McLaren, Michael Parder-Cooper for Red Bull, Ruud Windaal for Williams, as I said, Marcel Droning for Renault, and in the drop zone, as we said earlier, so Marcel France, Miguel Toro, Tony, Xavier Zima, and Daniel Van Tol. So they're all taking 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th places, respectively. So we're through to Q2. We are obviously expecting dry weather for this race. Being desert conditions, we would not expect any less, and indeed if there was any rain, that would certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons without any doubt whatsoever. So we're in Q2, 15-minute session, and this is where we're going to see what the drivers can do. We saw a 127.7 best time set by Seb Bogart on those super softs in Q1, closely followed by Rowan Droning in the Williams with a 128.1. So only about 4/10 off that time. And then Bahrein, the second Ferrari driver, with 128.186. So it's actually 300ths difference to Droning, Ryan Droning there. So it's certainly going to be interesting again. Looks like Nicky Visser, I think, is the first driver out. So we've got Martin Parder Cooper, Mark Stappers in the McLaren, Marco Pullen as well in the Sauber. So Sauber and McLaren getting out early. See what they can do. Say quite a tricky track. I mean, I would expect the overtaking to be predominantly on turn 1 and turn 4, but don't forget we've got the 2 DRS points as well on the start-finish straight, and then on what I would call effectively one of the back straights behind the grandstands, the stretch between turns 10 and 11. So again, great opportunities there. So it's those turns though, turn 1 and 4, that are certainly critical. I'd also say turn 10 actually, but it is quite a tricky track, and certainly with the change of camber between, well, turns 2 to 3, but also as you're coming around the back, around turns 11, 12 to 13. Quite tricky if you haven't got your car evened up. And let's have a quick look now and see what sort of tyres the drivers are going on. Remember, whatever they qualify on, they will need to take to the start of the race, even those going through to Q3 to decide the top 10. So in Q2 we have, well, we've actually got 14 drivers, should have had 15, but from these 14 we'll go down to 10. And then from those 10 they'll go into Q3. Got a yellow flag in sector 3 there. Let's quickly come down. So yeah, they'll go through to Q3, those top 10, to decide the top 10 positions for the drivers. And we can see a little bit of change in tack here, because these drivers will be looking to start the race on the tyres that they qualify on. Then we're starting to see a few more softs come out. So Nicky Visser for Sauber on softs, and Ruud Windahl for Williams softs. Coulthard de Cooper for Toro Rosso, I believe, also on softs. Daniel Hartmann, John Donker for Force India, and interesting enough, the 2 Ferrari drivers as well. Boy Williamson, Marco Pullen's dropped out. I don't know if he's actually crashed out there. Unfortunately, we don't get to see vehicles that have crashed on track, so I think he may come up probably around about turns 2 and 3. So Mark Stappers setting that fastest time already, and we can see not doing too bad there at all with a 128.5, and that was on a set of super softs. Nicky Visser for Sauber, 128.5. That was on a set of softs. And, Mark Stappers for McLaren, 128.5. Nicky Visser dropping down was Bahrein, set to 128.2. Remember, we did see 127s. Ryan Droning set to 128.073. So he's bettered his time from Q1 by about a tenth. So clearly improves as he goes along there. Oh, takes first place with that. Bahrein with a 128.2. So Ryan Droning taken provisional pole for Q2, first place. Know that Seb can obviously do better than that. So needs to get it together, and certainly I would expect the Ferrari guys to be looking to be on that front row. So just to remind you, you are with F1 tonight, 2018 Season 1 race 2, and we are at Bahrain. Tricky track, certainly for second race of the season. It's 2 DRS points, 3 critical turns certainly. Not too many turns though, 15 turns, but quite a tricky track. And, we've already seen a 127.7 set by Seb Bogart. That was in Q1. Oh, Guido Ehrschein goes in with a 127 Renault. Guido Ehrschein with a 127.9. So those Ferraris struggling. They don't seem to be able to get it together. And, we'll have to see what happens. Certainly going to be interesting to see how these guys progress through. And Seb Bogart there takes it with a 127.927. So 600ths. Guido Ehrschein behind him, and then Ryan Dronig, and the just over a 10th or just under a 10th behind them. It's certainly going to be interesting how they progress through here. And in the drop zone now, well, we still haven't had all drivers set their time. Ruud Windahl, Peter Phillip, Marco Pullen's dropped out, Jerome Portman still to set times, and these are the guys that are in the potential drop zone. It'll be interesting to see how they actually do on here. Not too sure if you're picking up on the broadcast there. Bit of a weird engine noise coming out of some of these cars. But, all good. So Sebastian Bogart, 127.9. Still not as fast as he has done. Guido Ehrschein, 127.9 also. Second place provisionally for Q2. Ryan Dronig for Williams. Third place, 0.0. Remember, we are going to go through with the 10 drivers at the top and dropping the bottom 4. And at the moment, that's Ruud Windahl, who's the other new driver, second driver in the Williams team there. Ruud's struggling at the moment to get a time. His track limits are set on this championship for strict, so there is no tolerance. If you go offline, that's it, you're wiped out. And then we've got Peter Phillip also in the drop zone for McLaren, formerly Peter F1. Marco Pullen has dropped out, and I'm sure he had a DNF effectively there. I think it was turn 2 or 3 as he was coming out of there. And then we've got Jerome Portman for Toro Rosso. So those drivers at the moment, he's critical. They set a time. Jonathan Donkel, bit of a danger zone, obviously always is when you're 10. Oh, and John drops down. Yep. So we see there that Jerome has set a 128.3. So that's put the Toro Rosso driver up into provisional 5th in this Q2. That's then dropped John Donkel down, and he's dropped down again. Oh my goodness. So Ruud Windahl there sets slightly faster time, still not out of the drop zone, with a 129.2. So in the drop zone, we have Ruud Windahl in the Williams, we have Jonathan Donkel in the Force India, and we have Peter Phillip in the McLaren. It's critical that these guys, and Peter Phillip, let's ride with Peter because he needs desperately to set a time here. So he really needs to pull it together now and see if he can set that time. Obviously, the track is progressing. We've still got 14 minutes to go, so there's still plenty of time. But that said, you've got to remember that these other drivers will be bettering now. I would suspect that what we're going to see is the Ferrari drivers try and stick if they can. Certainly Seb Bogart, he's happy with that 127.9 that he's now set, but on a set of softs, and clearly that's what he's looking to start the race on. His teammate not having the same luck, well, I say luck, he's just not been able to get it together. He set at 128.2, he's currently 6. Obviously he's still clean and through to the next qualification, barring anything major happening here. So Peter does set that time, that 129.3. Puts him into 12th, and that's dropped John Donkel now in the Force India down to 13th position. What he really needs to do is try and beat that Boy Williamson time. So he needs to try and beat that Haas, and he needs to get that one, at least a 129.1. And in order to do that, he needs to take a couple of hundredths, or sorry, a couple of tenths off his time, and he does. Look at that. As I'm saying that, fantastic return there from John Donkel in the Force India, 129.1. Indeed, as I said, that's what he needed to do. He's very close. He's only 2 hundredths off Boy Williamson, and Haas driver is out on track at this moment in time. Let's see whether he can actually respond to that. Can he knock John Donkel back into the drop zone in this Q2? It all hangs on. Oh, and he's off track there. No time will be recorded for that, and that's what I was referring to earlier when I said that run strict conditions. You can run off with 2 tyres, and I believe you can also run off with 3 tyres, but you cannot go off track with certainly all 4 tyres. And as we saw there, that clearly was. So that time will not be counted. Was somewhat on a mistake there. I was thinking it was 14 minutes left. I don't know where I saw that. I could have sworn I saw it at the top there, but still, we've actually got 1 minute 30. So he could potentially, I thought it was running a long time, we could potentially, another opportunity to try and beat that time. And he beat it now. Oh, he does. He pushes John down. Oh, look at this. Boy Williamson, well, what can I say there? Peter Phillip goes in with a 128.8. Marcel Paardenkoper. So now Ruud Window is now down in the drop zone. I don't think this is right. I think I may be having a few issues here with times, but we will see. So, oh yes, sorry, Ruud Window, yeah, he is down there, 129%. He's in the drop zone now. As is Boy Williamson in the Haas and John Donkel. So Peter Phillip there put in a great result there, 128.8, knocked everyone down again. And great show there. His teammate Mark Stappers takes 7 in Q2. There's only 20 seconds to go. I think he's actually, Martin Paardenkoper actually made it over the line, did he? Not too sure. I think he did. So incident in sector 3, yellow flag there. Not too sure how. That's apologies to those that are watching. we seem to have a little bit of a technical issue here, and that I got kicked out of the game. So we should be able to join back again. So not too sure what occurred there, but we were pretty much done, certainly with the qualification. So it looks like we saw the drivers go through, and should join a see, if not the standing results for Q2, certainly the start of the final Q3 with our last 10 drivers. So this is F1 tonight, 2018, Season 1, Race 2, Bahrain. And obviously, nighttime race, floodlit race. We are in desert conditions, so far too much heat during the course of the day. And ideal for night driving. Obviously, it does mean. Yep, so there we are. So, yeah, Q2 is now complete. So, in the drop zone, indeed, we have, unfortunately, Ruud Window for Williams. Unfortunate there, takes 11th place on the grid. Roy Williamson for Haas will be taking 12th on the grid. John Dunkel for Force India will be 13. And Marco Pullen, unfortunate there for Marco in the Sauber, will take P14. So, Seb Bogart sets the fastest Q2 time there with that 1:27.9. We'll just quickly run through those. Just waiting for the results to come through. Clearly, we've had a little bit of an issue there with connection. So Seb Bogart 1:27.9, 2.7, then 1:27.989 from G Airshine, Guido Airshine there, and our new driver Ryan Dronig for Williams with the 1:28.057. So great show there. Those are our drivers that are through. As we go through now to the final qualification for F1 tonight, 2018 Season 1, Race 2, Bahrain. Q3, this is to decide the top 10. The top 10 shootout now. They've only got just under 12 minutes to actually get their times in. So I would expect to see them coming in quite quickly now. And Guido Airshine, I think, was quite happy there. That time, clearly, he wanted to get a time in to show. He's been putting in some good practice this week. So it'll be good to see how he gets on with this. So there we have it. Drivers on their out laps now, and Guido's out early. He's looking to set his mark. Remember, tyres were decided in Q2. So they've all gone out with super softs. His tyres up there. It's Michael Parder Cooper there. Keep an eye on this guy, this Red Bull driver. He's a great driver. He was with Toro Rosso last year. Mark Stapper still in the pit. Damie Hartman in the Haas. The only Haas remaining is out there. Peter Phillip in the McLaren, just coming out now. Two Ferrari drivers, Sebastian Breen, Sebastian Bogart. Probably give each themselves a tow. Jerome's still in the pits, hasn't come out as yet. So let's run with Nicky Visser. We've got just over 10 minutes to go now. for this Q3 decider, this Q3 shootout for F1 tonight 2018. This is season 1 of 2018, race 2, Bahrain, and we've seen some great times. We haven't seen anybody yet. Beat Seb Bogart in either of the qualifications. He set a 127.793 in Q1, a 127.927 in Q2. He was on softs, but he was on super softs in that first Q. He is now on super softs. So can we see a low 127? Two drivers here, well, three drivers potentially that are in the run there. Ryan Dronig set a 128.057 in Q2. And Guido Ershine, the Renault driver, set a 127.989. Don't count out Bastard Breen, second Ferrari driver. These guys, great team. He set a 128.1 in Q1. So don't count him out. So 8 3/4 minutes to go. Still nobody set a time as yet. And there we have it. Sebastian Bogart, 127.5. Opens up, so he's already gone into the low 127s. Guido Ershine can't respond, he's done a high one, well, low 128.0. Bastard Breen, again, fantastic, look at that, 127.7, both Ferrari drivers there. Ryan Dronig, 128.0, can't quite match that. And look at this, oh, fantastic, Damien Hartman there, with a 127.8 for Haas. So showing that Haas still in the running there. So Michael Parder-Cooper for Red Bull, Parder-Cooper for Red Bull, setting a 129.1. We still have the McLaren to set a time, and Jerome Portmer for Toro Rosso as well. So let's run with the McLaren drivers there. Mark Stappers, what can he do? McLaren certainly, unlike their real world counterparts, got into Q3. Sorry, bit of a dig there, but very sad to see where the real world team is at this moment in time, as indeed with Williams. So great to see that they're F1 tonight's esports counterparts are indeed doing so well. But the 127.5 set by Sebastian Bogart and Ferrari, his teammate Bastard Breen sets a 127.7, fastest times we've seen so far in qualification. Not quite there, but we certainly had a bit of surprise there from the Haas driver, Damien Hartman, suddenly jumping up to a 127.8. All the drivers certainly being close with those all hovering around about the 128, so he clearly found the sweet spot there. And I'm sure he's going to be very, very happy with that. So Peter Phillip sets a 131.3 for McLaren. Jerome Portmer sets a 128.1. So that puts him up to 5th on the grid. So that's row 3. I think he'll be happy with that. Obviously looking to improve. Only 5 minutes left of this session. What is going to happen? We've already seen quite a turnaround. Seen Bastard Breen didn't seem to be quite putting it together in Q2. Certainly has responded now, setting the second fastest time. Clearly Ryan Dronig in the Williams will be looking to improve on his time, as will Guido Ershine. He set a great Q2 time there, as we know, as you can see in the ticker. So what can he do? Can he respond? We've only got 5 minutes to go. So if he's going to respond, he needs to respond now. He's in the pits, as is Ryan Dronig, as is Damien Hartman. So all these drivers doing that last minute hit to try and see if they can improve on that time. Oh, look at that. Mark Stappers losing it there. See, just trying to see where he was coming round actually. Yeah, so that was coming round to turn 12. Lost traction. And unfortunately came off the track there. Won't have helped his times at all. But let's see what they can do. So as it stands this moment in time, we've got a Ferrari front row. And behind them, a Haas and a Williams. Then behind them, well, what can I say? A Toro Rosso and a McLaren. And Guido Eschheid in the Renault there. It's coming out of the pits now. We've got quite a number of drivers in the pits. Let's run with Guido Eschheid in the Renault. He'll certainly be looking to set his mark. Nobody as yet has bettered those times from the two Ferrari drivers. We've only got 3.5 minutes to go. So at best, 2 more laps for the drivers. So if they're going to do something, now is the time to pull the rabbit out of the hat. What can they do? Can Ryan Dronig for Williams get back onto the front row? Can Guido Eschheid for Renault get back on that front row? And can Damien Hartman, who suddenly from Haas just came out of nowhere with that 127.8, can he better that? Can he get on that front row? Can anybody split these Ferraris? They've set their mark early in the queue. No one as yet has beaten them. We've got a number of drivers now coming round for their final lap. And we're running with Guido Eschheid. Ryan Dronig is on his outlap as well, but Guido, I think, is just a little bit ahead of him. So we'll stick with Guido for now. See how he does. All the drivers, as we know, out on the super soft, trying to get the best time they can. It'll be whatever tyre they got through to Q3 with from Q2 that they'll be starting the race with. So important. Oh, and he slips, sliding away there, and that was coming through, I believe, turns 2 and 3. As he comes up to turn 4 now. Oh dear, he's got McLaren right ahead of him there. That's rather unfortunate. That really would not have helped him at all. Don't think Guido's going to be able to do it on this one. So let's run now with Ryan Dronig. New Williams driver. His teammate unfortunately couldn't get it together. Dropped out in Q2. So what can Ryan do? Can he respond to those Ferraris? Can he set a better time? Sebo got better this time. 127.1. We've only got a minute to go. What can this young driver do? Any better that time? He needs to lose, well, I'd say ideally 9/10 to let's see what he can do. It's coming round now at this moment. We've still got the Ferraris. First and second, Seb's bettered his time. He's done a 127.1. So does Bastard Breen. He set a 127.143 as well. Maybe Hartman still on that 127.8. Ryan Dronig still on that 127.9. If they want to get off that second row and get in that first row, both drivers really need to be taking, well, 9/10 at least, I would say, off that time. Can they do it? 6 seconds to go. Stabrini isn't going to be coming out. Jerome Portman looks like he's going to be staying in 5th. He doesn't cross the line in time. Well, he's coming down the back straight anyway between turns 10 and 11. Can he better this time? Can he get those 9 tenths, 8 tenths off? That's what he needs. 8 tenths will put him... Oh! Was that too much? I don't think so. I don't think the lap's been scrubbed. As he comes round. Final turn. Goes in the pits. No, he couldn't do it. Maybe Hartman now coming round. Can he better that time? He does better the time with a 1:27.4. So unfortunately, not enough to get him on that front row, but maintains his second row position. He will have Daniel... oh, no, sorry, he won't. He'll have Nicky Visser alongside him. Nicky just beats the Williams driver, Ryan Droning, with a 1:27.8 as opposed to his 1:27.9. So, well, fantastic result there. Well, that's it now. So there we have it. Ferrari lockout on the front row. So P1, Seb Bogart. P2, Bastabreen. P3, Damie Hartman. Great drive there for the Haas driver, Damie Hartman. 4th, Sauber driver, Nicky Visser, so he'll be in the second row. Ryan Dronig down to the 3rd row there for Williams. We'll just wait for the final driver results to come up. Oh, great, I'm getting some XP here. So fantastic result there, great show. So really looking forward to this now. We'll be starting the race very soon. So there we have it. Seb Bogart takes pole position. Alongside him, his teammate Bastabreen. Damie Hartman for Haas is in the second row. Alongside him, Nicky Visser for Sauber. Ryan Dronig for Williams is in the 3rd row. Alongside him, Jerome Portman for Red Bull. Michael Parder-Cooper for Red Bull is in 7th. Mark Stappers for McLaren is 8th. And Guido Ershine 9. And Peter Phillip for McLaren is 10. So I've just been informed by race control that the session will be restarting. So bear with me while I get some more information. a few issues. So if you bear with us, we are going to be restarting. So we should be underway again very shortly. So unfortunately, we're having some technical issues where drivers were actually getting kicked out of the game. So due to that, we're having a restart of the game to ensure that, well, hopefully that we can resolve the issue so that it's not looking, so it doesn't interfere too much with the actual race itself. So do bear with us, because obviously in restarting, the drivers will have to be formed up again, and the grid will have to be formed up. So that does take just a little bit longer to get that sorted out. But once it is, then we will get the invite and we will get underway. But great qualification we saw there. We saw, obviously, Seb Bogart was pretty much dominating in all qualifications, in all the Qs. Q1, he said a 127.7. Q2, he said a 127.9. And then for Q3, he said a 127.1. Bahrein was there as well. He wasn't in Q2, certainly was in Q1, but came back for that Q3. And here we go. So we have now the start of the session. So we saw that Seb Bogart, he's going to be coming out on a set of super softs by the looks of it from his qualification. I think his teammate Bahrein will actually be on a set of super softs as opposed to Seb on a softs. And Damien Hartman, again, not too sure, but I suspect that he will probably be on a set of super softs as well. So we're just waiting for the drivers to come in, get them all set up, and then we'll be getting underway. Watch out for the new driver to F1 tonight, Ryan Droning. He did set great times, certainly in the qualifications. Didn't quite able to get it together for the final Q3, but still put in a respectable time. He was starting in the third row. He just got pipped to the post by Nicky Visser in the Sauber for fourth place, second on the row on the grid. So he's dropped down to fifth, but keep a lookout for him, because he driver to watch this season. He started off the season fantastically well in Australia, getting a podium finish, third place behind the Ferrari and the Mercedes as first Seb Bogart and Xavier Sima respectively. So we'll be doing the formation lap, and as we run through the formation lap, I'll quickly run through the drivers, give you a little bit of a reminder as to who they are and the teams, and we'll then get the race underway. It is a full race, so we will be doing 57 laps. F1 tonight, old school, die hard. F1 tonight 2018, season 1, race 2, Bahrain. So here we are this evening, just waiting for the drivers to get ready and form up for the start of this race. 57 laps, so about a good hour or so race time. So I would suspect probably around about sort of the 120, 130 minute mark. So the drivers now on their formation lap. Let's ride in car. So Seb Bogart for Ferrari, alongside him his teammate Bahrein in the Ferrari. Behind them Damien Hartman in the Haas. Alongside him, oh actually, I do apologise, alongside him will be Ryan Droning. So he did get into the second row. I'm not too sure what happened, whether it was the issue that I had with drivers dropping out, as I said, that caused that. So Ryan Droning for Williams will be starting in the second row, fourth place. Then behind them, Jerome Portmer. And, Jerome, well, I think he's done very well there. certainly, for Toro Rosso. So he's in 5th. Martin Parda Cooper for Red Bull, his sister team, in 6th. Mark Stappers from McLaren in 8th. Sorry, 7th. Guido Erschein for Renault, 8th. Nicky Visser for Sauber will be P9. Peter Phillip for McLaren, P10. Ruud Windahl, the other new driver and second Williams driver. He's not had a great qualification. He's going to be down in P11. Boy Williamson for Haas will be 12. Jonathan Donkel, Force India, 13. Marco Pullen and Marco, great driver as well for Sauber. He's down in 14. Marcel Droning, second Renault driver, is 15. Then alongside him, we will have France. Marcel France for Toro Rosso. Then we have Miguel Torres. Sorry, not Miguel Torres, I keep saying that. Miguel Torney, I do apologise. Miguel Torney for Force India, 17. And the Mercedes drivers, Zadia Zima and Daniel Van Tol, will bring out the rear, 18 and 19. Interestingly, both drivers on super softs, so expect to see them coming through. So all the drivers now getting on the grid. Last driver, Daniel Van Tol for Mercedes, just coming onto the grid now. We're at the start. They're getting ready for the start of this F1 tonight, 2018, Season 1, Race 2, Bahrain, and they are off for the start of this race. Seb Bogart, Breen, they're already coming under. Oh, look at this! Oh my goodness, one of the Hasses has gone right out there in the rear, spinning. Complete chaos. The Ferrari's going through, Haas going through, Davey Hartman taking 2nd place, Ryan Droning taking 3rd, Breen drops back to 4th place, Jerome Portman is in 5th, so what on earth? We've got a lot of happening in the background there. Marcel France, 5 seconds stop go. So clearly there was something here that happened for that Toro Rosso driver. Caused an incident in the back there, so not too sure what's happened. Clearly an incident there, so Bogart going very easy, as are all the drivers. Boy Williamson, 5 seconds. Daniel Van Tol retired from the session, so we've had some retirements already. Both the Mercedes drivers. So was there an incident there for those Mercedes drivers coming through? Not too sure. Is it a technical issue with regards to connection? Looks like they're forming up again. Doesn't look to me like they're racing. I think we could be looking at a restart situation. I don't know. Let's stay live with it. And I'm sure that race control will inform me if we are going to be looking for a restart. But at this time, Seb Bogart for Ferrari is in 1st place. Behind him, Davey Hartman. And bringing in 3rd, Ryan Droning, the Williams drivers there. So Seb Bogart sets the fastest provisional time, 1:48. What a start to this race. Breen is now moved up into 3rd place. He's taken that place. Okay, I'm not too sure what's happening here. Race control, Peter Phillip, 5 seconds stop go, speeding in the pit lane. We've got the Renault driver off there as well. So I've had results jumping around here. I'm not too sure what is happening. I think what's happening is a number of drivers are coming to the pits, which is, yes, Ryan Droney came into the pits, and Marcel France as well has come into the pits, so that's what changed that start setup there. So Seb Bogart stays in 1st place. Behind him, Davey Hartman in the Haas in 2nd place. Behind him, Breen. So Bass is only 1 place behind where he was. 2nd place, he's done 3rd. Jerome Portman for Toro Rosso. He's Jerome Portman, for Toro Rosso. He's in 4th place. Michael Pardigan for Red Bull. He's just behind him in 5th place. Then we have Nicky Visser for Sauber, 6. Guido Erschein for Renault, 7. And Ruud Windaw for Williams is in 8. So by the looks of it, certainly Ryan Droning's come in and he's gone on to a set of mediums. Interesting choice. He's looking to go deep into this race to see if he can actually come back. So clearly, incident there on the start of the race. A number of drivers affected. We've seen some drivers come in and pit. We've seen a number of 5-second stop-go penalties be applied as well. And we've seen both the Mercedes drivers go out. Not too sure what happened there, whether the incident on the start came from there, not too sure, but certainly both drivers are out. So Team Mercedes, they didn't compete last week and they didn't even qualify, do a lap this week, so not too sure what's happening with Mercedes there. Hopefully that's something that they can get resolved, whether it's a technical issue or whether it's a driver issue, because we certainly want to see them racing. We don't want to see them not racing, so we will keep an eye on that, let you know, keep you informed as to what's happening. So we're settling down a little bit now. We're seeing a bit of a fight as we normally would see around about the high sort of midfield, and Nicky Visser here challenging Michael Pardigan in that Red Bull. Nicky's has set some great times, certainly in practice, and he's got great race pace. Qualifying is not always his bag, but when it comes to the race, he certainly has the ability to stick in there and perform well. And he's looking to make the move. Can he do it into turn 1? And this is one of those critical points that I've said on this track. If you're going to overtake, turn 1, great move there. He had the DRS, obviously, so that came in. So he had DRS on the Red Bull there, made full advantage of it, takes him into turn 1. And Martin's still there behind him, though. Xavier Seamer's left the session, yeah. So Mercedes drivers leaving the session now. And Guido Erschein challenging Ruud Windaw as well, our new driver. So the Renault closing down on the back of that Williams. He's only 5/10 off the back of him. And he make it stick. They're coming round. Ooh, second DRS point now. Can he do as they're coming up to turn 11? Not an ideal place to overtake. You've got a long sweeping left here. Can the Renault driver make something of this? Can he beat back this new protege to F1 tonight in the Williams? He's defending well. What can he do? Can he get past him? Coming into turn 13 now, 14. Round. Start, finish straight. He's got DRS. Can he make it count? Can he make the move before he gets to turn 1? Can't make it stick. Doesn't take the move. Still behind the Williams driver there. He's going to be pushing hard. Ruud Windaw on a set. Softs. Sorry, I'm talking Ruud Windaw here. I should have been. I do apologise. I was actually getting confused with Ryan Droning, who's down in 17th place. So this is the other new Williams driver here. So Ruud Windaw for Williams, defending well against Guido Erschein from Renault. What can he do? Let's get this. He is a new driver. But, defending very well there. Oh! When the Renault nearly goes off there on that second DRS point as he put down the power out turn 10. Went a little bit wobbly, didn't want that, but we see also now Martin Pardigan in the Red Bull. He's closing down on that Sauber of Nicky Visser. It's only 7/10 off the back of him, and Nicky likewise is closing down on Jerome Portmer. in the Toro Rosso. So we always tend to see this sort of midfield action here. Say midfield, high midfield, obviously we're looking for 5th, 6th places here. But don't count out Guido Ershine. He has dropped back a little bit behind Williams now. We're just taking it easy, taking care of his tyres. Unfortunately, quick shout out to my co-commentator Jottr. Unfortunately, not able to make it this evening. He's got sound issues with no functioning mic, and I must admit I do miss my technical right hand, as he is great on give me the tech and let me know what's happening, and also how the drivers are performing, especially with relation to the introduction of the ERS system and also the tyre temperatures, because for 2018 F1 has incorporated ERS, so you need to manage the ERS system, not just the harvesting but the actual distribution and what level you do that at. Also, you've got to be careful with the tyres, with the carcass temperature, as well as obviously the actual core temperature as well. So very interesting additions to the game, making it more technically challenging for the drivers whilst racing. So brings another element of real world F1 into the esports series, which is accessible to everybody. So we're on lap 7, the 57, early doors yet. We've seen Bahrein now has taken that 2nd place back from Davey Hartman. And so the Ferraris now 1st and 2nd, but Davey Hartman still in the game. It's only 1.5 seconds off. Just check whether he's had any stops. So no stops there, so clearly this was an overtake on track. Sorry we missed that, we were obviously watching the action a little bit further down the track there. So, but Nicky Visser, let's have a quick look at position changes there. Nicky Visser moved up 5 spots. Michael Pider Cooper 1, Ruud Windahl 5 spots, and I said that Williams driver knew, but he's done great. Started 11th, now in 6th place. Marco Pullen as well, he's gained 6. Miguel, sorry, not Miguel. I do, yeah, it's Miguel Miguel Torney, keep getting that name, Miguel Torney. He's made up nicely with 7th space. Marcel Droning for Renault 4, and Marcel France has done great as well for Toro Rosso there, picking up 4 places as well. So most of the drivers are on the softs, and clearly Ryan Droning made a bad choice there. If memory is correct, I think he's done 2 stops, because he did go on, yeah, he has. So Ryan Droning showing his greenness, unfortunately. Had an incident on the 1st lap, went into pit, thought he'd go on to a set of mediums, take him deep into the race. Did not work, went back in again, put a pair of softs on, and that's really brought him down. But as I say, it is early doors, anything can happen. It's lap 8 or 57 laps. We were just running in car there with Davey Hartman in the Haas, looking to try and close down on this Ferrari, but the Ferrari's already pulling away. Bahrein is, well, nearly 4.3, just over 4.3 seconds down the road. Behind, rather, from his teammate who is down the road, Seb Bogart. So Seb certainly opening up that lead. Bahrein running shotgun there. I'd say he's trying to hold up that Haas, because certainly he's putting in the faster speed and the Haas is trying to catch up. He's making up time, but it is progressive. Then we have Nicky Visser in the Sauber. Great result there for Nicky. He's under pressure though from Martin Pider Cooper in the Red Bull. So let's watch these guys. He's only 4/10 off the back of him. So they're just coming round backside of the track here, and then in the background there you can see Ruud Windahl, the other new Williams driver. So Seb Bogart, provisional fastest time 1:32.6. Remember, these cars are pretty much fully loaded at this moment in time, so he's probably carrying, let's see, 100 kilos, 20, he's probably carrying around about 80 to 90 kilos at this moment in time, probably around about the 90, 85, 90 mark. So still quite a bit of weight in that car. But, Martin takes the place from Nicky, makes the move on him. So Nicky now looking to try and catch up to Martin in that Red Bull. But Martin already starting to stretch out now ahead of him. Great job. He raced with Toro Rosso last year. Martin BMW, you may recognise the tag. Now F1 tonight for 2018, we're going with real world names, and therefore gives it a little bit more of a professional look, I guess, on the scoreboard and on the tables. But Nicky really pushing there, but Martin maintaining his line. Nicky certainly isn't going to give up. They're both on a set of softs, as are effectively all the top 10 drivers, bar Marco Pullen and Miguel Tony, sorry. Remember that, Miguel Tony. So they are on super softs. The rest of them are on the softs. So we'll be looking to go relatively deep into the race. I would expect, I'd never like to shout this because I'm never great on the tyres, but I would think with the softs probably coming in round about the mid to high 20s, depending upon where. This is where I would really do need my co-commentator, Jottr. So Jottr, if you're listening, get that mic sorted out quickly, my friend. And a quick shout out as well to Synergy PWR, People's World Racing. This is UK League, running 2 divisions. And they're starting their season on September 18th, Tuesday evening, Division 2, September 19th, Division 1, and that's going to be Albert Park. I'll be commentating for Division 1 on the 19th, and my comrade in arms, Jottr, will be commentating on the Tuesday night. So look them up, Synergy, PWR. Put it down in the can to watch as well. So here we are now. We're on lap 10 of 57. This is Bahrain, season 1 of 2018 for F1 tonight. And, well, we saw a very tricky start. Some issue clearly happening in the back of the field. We had the Mercedes at the back of the field, bringing up 18 and 19. And on the start of the race, we seemed to have quite a number of collisions. So Haas looked like was severely damaged, certainly front wing damage. We couldn't catch it all as we were watching the front of the race, and unfortunately don't have replay functionality as yet for further down the field. I'm sure we will do as we progress through the seasons, but not too sure. Oh, and Nicky looking to make the move into turn 1. Does he make a stick? Oh, definite tyre to tyre contact there. Don't think there's any body contact. So Nicky looking to go deep into turn 1, and that's, as I said, one of the critical overtaking points, as well as turn 4. So Marco Pullen, 3-second time penalty there. No time penalty there for Nicky. So clearly it was a solid move, but Martin, I think, defending very, very well there. So they're coming down to turn 4. Sorry, not turn 4, I do apologise. Around turn 8. Turn 9 now, into 10. Nicky's still very close behind. He's got the DRS now. Can he make it? Stick and try and see if he can make the move in turn 11. Not easy, because as you come into turn 11, and I'll show you what I mean here. Let's go with Nicky. You've got an uphill climb, left and then right. So it really does throw the car and the weight balance. So if your car isn't balanced, it's very, very tricky. That section there through out of turn 11 into 12 and then into 13. So he doesn't do anything. Can he then make the move now on that start, finish straight again, and see if he can make the move and make it stick this time? He's only 5/10 off. He's certainly within the DRS. There goes the DRS. Let's go on board. What can he do? He's moving, looking to make a move to the right-hand side. This is what he did last time, going in deep, certainly past there. Can he make it stick? Can he? Oh, no, and Martin just stays ahead of him, but look at this, he makes the move. Just on the right-hand side there, fantastic. out of turn 3. Can Martin come back now on turn 4? What can he do? Nicky's got that place back, so Nicky Visser in the Sauber takes back 4th place from Martin Paardenkoper in the Red Bull. So real fight going on between these drivers. But look in the background there, Ruud Windahl is closing in on them as well. He's only 7/10 off. He was about a good couple of seconds or second and a half or so behind these guys. He's now closing down on them, so we're going to see him challenging certainly for that 5th place, if not that 4th place. Didn't have a great qualification, the Williams driver. Certainly showed his worth last week for his inaugural race with the F1 tonight. And he's certainly making a great comeback at the start of this race. We're on lap 12 of 57. And wow, this is really getting interesting. We've got the leaders still up there. Seb Bogart in a Ferrari. He's in P1. Behind him, his teammate, 5 seconds or so down the road, Bas de Breen. Then Danny Hartman in the Haas. He's another 7 seconds behind Bas. And then we've been watching the fight here for 4th and 5th place, Nicky Visser with Martin Paardenkoper. But closing in now is Ruud Windahl for Williams. And he will very, very soon. Backed off a little bit. I think he's let him get on. He's down to just over 1.5 seconds. So I think he's pretty much sort of happy for there at the moment. They're all on set soft. John Donkel closing down as well now. He's only about 5 seconds behind this group for Force India. Guido Ehrschein for Renault not having a great race. He's 20 seconds behind John Donkel there, and I'm sure he must have pitted. So yes, he has. So he's 1 stop already in, which has put him down in that 8th place. Then we have Marcel France for Toro Rosso. Sorry, not Marcel France, I do apologise. My mistake there. We have Miguel Tormi for Force India. Then we have Marcel Droning for Renault in 10th place. Boy Williamson for Haas, second Haas drivers in 11th. Marco Pullen for Sauber is being challenged here by Mark Stappers, and he takes the place from him. So Marco Pullen makes the move on Max Stappers for 12th place for the McLaren. So McLaren down in 13, his teammate Peter Phillips, he's down in 14th place, but certainly close between these two guys here as well. But Martin Paardenkoper still keeping up with Nicky Visser in the Sauber. We have Ryan Droning, and Ryan, not the race he wanted. He's down in 15th place. Certainly not what he's looking for, letting his teammate through. So he's been lapped by his teammate there, Ruud Windahl, now already. So really great start to the season, Albert Park, but I think he is not going to be too happy with Bahrain. And knowing drivers, he'll probably mark it down as a track he doesn't like, as we all do. Jerome Portmer in the pits. Oh no, don't tell me we've got that pit issue again. Yeah, we do. So unfortunately we had a bit of an issue last week with regards to issue on game where drivers would come into the pits, and to myself spectating, they would look as if they are still in the pits, when in actuality they are not, and they're actually out on track. So unfortunate. We will see how that works. So at this moment in time, Jerome Portmer is, I don't believe he's stuck in the pits, but we're not too sure where he is on track. So try and see if I can keep an eye on that and get some sort of idea where they might place. The only way I can do that is actually by scrolling through and seeing if I can see on the track. So Marcel Droning now catching up to his teammate. Well, it's 20 seconds behind him. Guido Ehrschein. John Donkel now coming on the start-finish straight for his lap 15 start. Ruud Windahl. Yeah, so not too sure where Jerome Portmer is. Hopefully that should resolve. We'll keep an eye on that. But certainly Martin Paardenkoper still bearing down on that Sauber of Nicky Visser. Only 5/10 off the back of the Sauber there, and this has been the case for these two drivers have been fighting it out more or less from about lap 3 or 4. So we're on lap 15. Marcel has pitted. He's on his first lap on those softs. Let's see what he can do. So far, top 7 drivers have all done 14 laps on the same set of tyres. So they're all on softs. So it bodes well for those, and certainly bodes well for Haas with their driver Damie Hartman there. Boy Williamson, unfortunately, a little bit further down the field, but Damie's still nearly, well, just over 9.5 seconds behind second place Sebastian Breen, but he's holding that 3rd place. He's got Nicky Visser. Oh, and Martin Partaker makes the move on Nicky as they're coming into turn 1, and that was on that DRS straight, on the start-finish straight there. So these guys just swapping position of 4th place between them. Nicky clearly not going to leave it at this. He's going to be challenging Martin. So great racing from these guys in the Sauber and the Red Bull respectively. But as I said, Ruud Window still in the background there in the Williams. He's only 1.4 seconds off the back of them, so he's maintaining that gap. But you could just see coming into view there, John Donkel starting to close down on that Williams of Ruud Window. So great result, great so far for John Donkel. All these guys looking solid now. Clearly, the issue that we had in that first lap has affected the bottom half of the field. I think the only one that probably wasn't too, if it was Marcel Droning, Mark Sappers and Peter Phillips, as they're all the ones that are on slightly more laps, so they didn't come in until lap 2 or 3. We're seeing this now, Nicky Visser now 5/10 off the back of Martin Partaker. And let's quickly go down the field there, because it looks like, yes, closing in there on Peter Phillips. We have Miguel Tormi in the Force India. So Miguel Tormi looking to close down on the McLaren there. As they come round turn 10 on that second DRS. Not within DRS range, but he certainly is closing down on him. And we've seen, again, change there from Nicky and Martin Partaker for 4th and 5th place. So these guys still battling out. Martin clearly took advantage to turn 1, but Nicky closed him down. But look at this, Ruud Window now is really closed down on him. He's only 4/10 off the back of that Red Bull now. So let's watch this Williams driver. He's caught up with these guys. He's right on their tail now. They've been so busy. He's on turn 10. He's got DRS. Michael Partaker looking to defend as they're coming into turn 11 now. This is tricky, round turn 11 and 12. That long and then into 13. Oh, and Ruud nearly coming off on 13 there. So difficult with the traction, with the change in direction there. If you don't have your car properly weighted, it does really create issues, especially when you're putting the power down. So he's now well within DRS range. He's got 4/10 on Martin Partaker in the Red Bull. They're coming onto the start-finish straight and the DRS. What can he do? Now, Nicky Visser has started to pull out. So he's 1.2 seconds down the road. This Red Bull, oh, can Ruud win? Yes, what a beautiful move for the Williams driver into turn 1 there. Makes it stick, makes the move on Martin Partaker in the Red Bull and takes 5th place. So great result, but Martin coming back now into turn 4. Can he make it stick? Oh, round 5. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Ruud pulls it out. Coming down to 9. Sorry, turn 8 there. Around to 9 and then 10. Right, oh, can he make it? Oh, look at this. Round turn 10. second DRS point. Martin Parder-Cooper does have DRS. Can he make a move into turn 11? Can the Red Bull make the move on this Williams? But no. Well, we're 17 laps in. They're all on the softs. So Seb, Ferrari drivers, Seb Bogart, Bahrein, confirmed and not looking to move from their first and second place respectively. As we know, obviously, we've got the Haas driver, Damie Hartman, in third place, but he is progressively losing time. About half, I think it's around about 3/10, 4/10 per lap that the Ferraris are pulling out in front of him. But Nicky now, only 7 seconds off the back of Damie. He's within view, so he'll be looking to close down that gap. He's been given a breather with the Ruud Window and Martin Parder-Cooper fighting out for 5th place there. So Ruud 2.2 seconds off the back of that Sauber, but Martin Parder-Cooper's dropping down. So I would suspect that he's probably lost ERS. He may well have been running ERS quite high to make that move on the Sauber. Unfortunately, he has depleted it, which is why he's having to drop back so that he can recoup that energy. So as I said, this is where the ERS really does come into play, and clearly Ruud Window, as I said to you, he's around about a second or so, second and a half behind those guys for a number of laps, so he could well have been harvesting for the ERS to make that move. So he needs to get a gap going so that he can settle down a bit. And reduce his deployment to give him some energy for when he needs it. So we're coming up to, well, nearly just about a third of the way, well, we are over a third of the way through the race. We're on lap 20 of 57. This is F1 Tonight 2018, season 1. And this is race 2, Bahrain. And what a great start to this season we've had. Fantastic result last week at Albert Park. We saw Ferrari taking first place, Seb Bogart. Xavier Zima for Mercedes took second, and Ryan Dronig, one of the new drivers to F1 Tonight, took third place. But Ryan's suffering today. He's down in 15th, the Williams driver. Not a great result for him. He really suffered in the first lap. Put on a set of mediums, didn't work, came in again, put on a set of softs. But his teammate, Ruud Window, came in 8th place again. That was his debut race for Williams and for F1 Tonight. Finished 8th in Albert Park, but this week, well, look at this, he's up in 4th place. He did a fantastic move on Martin Parder-Cooper in the Red Bull. Really made it stick as well, and he's pulling away now. So these Williams team is certainly going to be the team to watch for this 2000. I know it's early doors, but we'll be getting a penalty points for that. And oh no, Martin Parder-Cooper for Red Bull has retired. So not too sure whether he's retired or DNF'd. He could have been, he was pushing. Unfortunately, with the 2018 scenario, I cannot select a car once it's actually gone off track or had a collision unless I'm actually watching it. So Codemasters, if you're watching, please amend that, because I really want to be able to see what's happened to drivers that have gone off, especially if I'm commentating on my lonesome Todd. So there we have it, John Donkel for Force India. He's just coming into the pits now. Damie Hartman just exiting the pits, and he's safe there in that 5th place. Bahrein, he's clearly pitted. He's gone on to a set of super softs. He was on the soft, so he's the first man in, effectively, for Ferrari. So he's dropped back into 4th place. Ruud Window is up in 3rd place. He's still on his original softs. Nicky Visser as well. And Seb Bogart has pitted and come out and maintained his 1st place. So he's a happy man. He's gone from those softs onto those, softs onto super softs. And that was, looks like it was lap 20. So the car's coming in a little bit earlier than expected. I was expecting the softs to probably go around about the mid-high 20s. But as I say, I'm not the technical man. Unfortunately, my technical right hand is not here this evening to assist. So I'm endeavouring to do the best I can with regards to that. But so lap 20, they've come in. So softs, good for 20 laps. What does that mean for the super softs? And can we make them last? I mean, the cars obviously now will be carrying less fuel. It'll probably be around about 60 odd kilos weight, so they would have burnt off probably around about 40 odd kilos of fuel, which does make the difference, so the tyres will last that bit longer. So we could certainly see the super soft potentially going to 20 laps as well as they did with the softs at the early part of this race. That would obviously then put us around about the 40 lap mark, and then it would probably be another set of super softs depending upon on your allocation. And the chances are that they might well be scrub tyres, we will see. But certainly at this moment in time, Ferrari are dominating. Nicky Visser has moved up to second place, but as he hasn't lapped, as has Ruud Windahl, still maintaining fourth place. So Nicky has effectively split the Ferraris, but he'll be coming in pretty soon as well. So Damien Hartman, he's out there, so he should, again, hopefully move up. So he's 12 seconds down the road from Ruud Windahl once he comes into pit. He's quite a fast pit entry and exit, well certainly entry and exit. So I would expect around about 15 seconds. So Damien Hartman, if Ruud Windahl comes in, he could certainly take fourth place and undoubtedly move up to third place to where he was with Seb in first, Bass in second. But we'll see, because Ruud Windahl could still potentially maintain that fourth place if he comes in. But we will see what happens. He'll certainly maintain, I think he will maintain the fourth place. John Donkel, well, he's out on track now. He's on a set of softs, so a little bit of a change for him. Whereas the other drivers have gone on to the super softs. He's putting in another soft, so we know he's going to be good for at least 20 laps. And I suspect more, probably into the 30, so he might be looking to pit round about high 40s onto a set of super softs again. So watch that, because he's certainly out of the game. You know, Ershine, well, he has already pitted. He's on a set of softs. He's got 15 laps on those, so he should be able to go a little bit deeper, probably around about lap 22, 23 maybe. We're seeing that Nicky Visser and Ruud Windahl still on those sets of original softs on 22 laps. So he could even go deeper. And Michael Droning, 5-second stop-go penalty. So don't know what happened there for Marcel Droning, the Renault driver. He's got a 5-second stop-go. Just quickly check on the pit issue. He is, okay, he's out. Still got Jerome Portman showing in the pits. And I'm pretty sure it was Jerome last week that we had the issue with as well. So not too sure what's happening there. It could be possible connection issues. Not too sure. So we are now on lap 24 of 57, rapidly approaching the halfway mark for this F1 tonight. 2018 season 1 race 2 Bahrain, and we saw an exciting start. We weren't too sure what happened. We saw that the two Mercedes drivers, Daniel Van Tol and Xavier Zima, were starting in 18th and 19th place respectively. There was some sort of issue on the start of the race, so the bottom half of the field suffered. We saw a number of drivers coming in pit. We saw a Haas with a front wing completely wiped out. So not too sure what happened there. They soon jumped out. Then we had, unfortunately, jumping out as well. Excuse me. We also had dropping out Marcel France for Toro Rosso. So that was a DNF. Martin Parder-Cooper looks like he actually quit out. And Ryan Dronig, oh my God, he's DNF'd as well. So Ryan for Williams, race over, unfortunately. Didn't catch that, as I said. Unfortunately, on 2018, we can't refer to cars that have either crashed or had any issues on track unless we're actually spectating them at the time. So Codemasters, if you are listening, please, 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 can you change that for spectate mode and certainly for commentary mode. So Peter Phillip in the McLaren is bringing up 11th place. Boy Williamson, the second Haas driver, and that's the one that had the front wing knockout on that first, or the start of this race. He's down in 10th place. Marco Pullen for Sauber, he's in 9th. Mark Stappers for McLaren, he's in 8th place. Guido Erschein for Renault, he's in 7th. John Donkel for Force India, 6th place. Ruud Windahl, the Williams driver, second race for 2018. He's holding the flag for Williams. He's in 5th place. He's closing down on Nicky Visser, who he made a move on earlier in the Sauber. So Nicky's in 4th place. As I said, Davey Hartman, once the pits had more or less straightened out for Haas, he's in 3rd place, so maintaining that 3rd place position. Bastien Breen, well, he's in 2nd place for Ferrari, and Sebastian Bogart is in 1st place. And Ferrari dominating this Bahrain race. Seen some action in the high midfield for 4th, 5th and 6th place earlier between Nicky Visser and the Red Bull driver of Mark Stappers. Unfortunately, Martin Parder-Cooper, he has dropped out. So Ruud Windahl taking the place there. So sure, we're going to see these guys battling it out very, very soon indeed. But John Donkel not too far down the road. He's going to be looking to close in on these guys now. So top 5 drivers, all on the super softs. We saw them come in round about, well, the Ferrari drivers came in round about lap 20, 21. Rest of the field round about lap 22. So gone on to the softs, super softs there to do a super soft stint. I would expect them to go probably, again, not far off 20 laps on there because of the fuel load has reduced and is reducing. And we've got another safety car, virtual safety car out. Okay, we've got virtual safety car out. Oh dear, Marcel Droning there going right off track in the Renault. Not too sure what happened there. Completely missed his braking point, and that looks like that was into turn 12. As I say, it can be tricky with the change of direction and camber as well. So clearly got caught out there. So we've got virtual safety car out. Let's get with our front runners and see when they actually catch up to this safety car. So looks like it came out on lap 27. I expect it to go in bar any issues at the end of lap 28. So this should bunch the field. It may give Davey Hartman in the Haas an opportunity to close up on the Ferraris, but as yet Sebastian Bogart has not caught up. Oh, sorry, this is virtual safety car, I do apologise. So all they need to do here is maintain their sector times and not exceed them and stay within the grid. So we will see the times come down, but we shouldn't see too much of a difference with regards to the gap, because the drivers need to maintain those gaps. So Bastien Breen there, you can just see his teammate up ahead of him at turn 11. Then we've got Davey Hartman just coming round now, round turn 10. So a little bit further down the line, Nicky Visser coming round turn 10 now as well, in the Sauber. Windahl right behind him. So we're seeing this settle down a little bit now, but how does this now affect the championship? Well, it's early doors. At this moment in time, Seb Bogart is leading the championship after the first race in Australia where he won. Xavier Seamer is in 2nd place, and Ryan Droning in 15. Well, obviously, we didn't have, unfortunately, last week, Bahrein, so he's going to be picking up some valuable points, 18 points if he stays in this position. His teammate, well, 2 wins in a row, that'll take him up to 50 points. What about Davey Hartman? Well, Davey Hartman didn't race last week. Well, he did race last week, finished 11th, didn't get any points, so he was out of the points in 11th place. So he'd certainly pick up some valuable points, 15 points there, potentially on the board for him. Nicky Visser, well, Nicky did great. He came in 4th last week. He's got 12 points. If he maintains his position again, he'll get another 12 points. So that will actually put him 2nd place, I believe, in the table. So great show there from the Sauber driver. Ruud Windau as well. He's in the points. He got 4 points last week, coming 8th. So again, if he maintains this position, he'll pick up 10 points. That should put him equal with Bahrein, the Ferrari driver. So only 2 races in, but it's already starting to get pretty interesting. Ferrari not dominating. Obviously, we didn't have Bahrein racing last week, so that would have made a difference there. But great show from these drivers here. And let's see if we've got anything coming down. It's pretty much settled down. Marco is looking to close down on Mark Stappers in the McLaren there, and he is certainly closing that gap down. At this moment in time, Ruud Windau is trying to get in the back of the Sauber as well in that Williams, but Sauber driver is performing well, and Mark is slowly catching up. He hasn't got DRS to make the move on that McLaren as yet, but shouldn't be too long, I would suspect, before he does. And Boy Williamson there in the Haas, a bit lonely there in 10th place. Didn't have a great start to this race, really threw him out, but staying in there. He's in the points, so he is 1 championship point there, which may not be ideal, but certainly will help him. He didn't pick up any points last week. He finished 16th last week. So he's going to be looking to try and improve on that, certainly. And that Haas car is very fast, but you need to get the feel for it. Not an easy car to drive. So Guido Erschein, he's in 7th place. He's 17 seconds behind John Donkel in the Force India. Great race from John here. I'm sure John will be happy with that. Didn't have a great season last year. Didn't really show his worth. Great in the rain. Very much likes the rain, as Peter Phillips in the McLaren. But so far, obviously, Australia, Bahrain, not much chance of rain, although Australia can do, but we didn't have any last week. It was a dry race. Ruud Windau for Williams, well, great start for his inaugural 2018 season with F1 tonight. He's in 5th place, finished set 8 last week. Let's go a little bit further down the field. So Marco Pullen, he's in 9th place. He'll be picking up some valuable points, a couple of points there. Boy Williamson, as we've already said, he certainly needs them. Peter Phillip, well, he's down in 12th in the McLaren. Sorry, yep, 12th in the McLaren. And then we have Marcel Droning, the Renault driver. Not great, the Droning family, just to put this in perspective. Marcel Droning driving for Renault. His son, Ryan Droning, has DNF'd, unfortunately. But this is a family affair for F1 tonight with the Renault and Williams drivers respectively, but Marcel Droning there in 13th place. I'm sure that's not where he wanted to be, but somebody has to be, and Jerome Portman was still showing stuck in the pit. So we've had 4 DNFs and looks like 2 drop out. We will find out what those are, and connection issues, I would suspect, but looking good at this moment in time, pretty much settled. We've got Ruud Windau is certainly closing down now. A bit more on Nicky Visser. He's within that DRS, or was, 9/10. I don't think he quite had it when it came to the DRS detection point, because that is actually just as you're approaching turn 9. So clearly didn't have the capacity to take advantage of that. But the gap is closing, and I suspect that he'll be looking to get there. He's within distance now. He's under a second, so to get the DRS you need to be under a second in.
hasn't used it on the start-finish straight, but can he do something coming into this turn one? Too far away from the Sauber driver there. Nice turn one, and you can see the change here to turns 2 and 3. Then you accelerate, as said, out of 3, approaching turn 4. Hard right here, and again, another overtake opportunity if you can get close enough. So nice right there. You've got to watch it in as the car, let it drift to the left-hand side. Stay there, and then you've got the curves coming through of 6 and 7. Very, very tricky. So you approach turn 8, hard braking point, turn right, accelerate down, stay on the left-hand side, and go to the right as you take the right into the left-hand turn there. Turn 9, then you come to turn 10, DRS, foot down to turn 11. As you go around turn 11, you then got the wind to the right, so it's a long uphill. Watch your car, then you've got to change 12 right, watch the balance, accelerate, then right again into 13, stay down the left hand side, maintain it there, don't move, accelerate down as you come to the last but one turn. Turn 14, guide it round right on that apex, open up, draw it down, stay on the left, and onto that start-finish straight. It's a great turn, great lap there from Ruud Window. And yeah, so Nicky Visser, change here, not too sure what happened there. So Nicky has actually overtaken, oh right, so Bass has obviously pitted, he's gone on to a set of mediums. So Nicky has provisionally taken third place from Bass. He's on 8 laps on these super softs. I haven't checked how long they would go for, but you see we've got virtual safety car again. So not too sure what's happening there, whether we've got the virtual safety car glitch from 2017 re-emerging in this 2018 version from Codemasters. Hopefully not. But I can't see any incidents that would have created these issues. So Guido Ershine dropping down to 8th place. Oh no, sorry, he's just taken, yeah, because Jerome Portmer just come out. So Jerome Portmer is now out and he's in 7th place. So this was a driver that was missing earlier, and that was what was affected. So clearly, he was behind Guido. He's now taken that place from him. So he is now back in the race. So we do have some technical issues on this 2018. Unfortunately, we've got cars that are getting stuck in the pits from spectate mode, which then obviously throws out the rest, and also we don't have the ability to view cars post any incident or crash. So, well, disappointing. We were expecting more. We've seen a lot delivered on this 2018, but we're not seeing that being shown in the multiplayer version of the game. Hopefully these are issues that Codemasters will sort out rapidly, because it really does detract from these types of broadcasts, and we want to try to do the best we can and present the game and the drivers as best we can. So Marcel Droning, 5-second stop go for exceeding track limits there. So he's clearly done that quite a few times. We're with John Donkel, he's Force India in the 6th. Window, he's down in 5th place, but he's closing in on Bastabrini. He's on a set of super softs. He's got 9 laps. Bass has only just come in on a set of medium, so he's clearly looking to go to the end of this race from lap 34. He feels that he can get at least another 34 laps out of those mediums. I would suspect then that that means that the drivers that are on the super softs will be coming in a lot earlier. We saw them coming on lap 20, so yeah, it looks like the super softs, they came in on lap 13, 14. So we've already got Damien Hartman there on the Haas. He's on 13 laps, so he should be pitting pretty soon. That will obviously then move Nicky Visser provisionally up into 3rd place, and Bastabrini into, Nicky Visser into second place provisionally, and Bahrein into third place. Nicky Visser then will still have to pit. So Bass playing the long game, and Seb has come in as well. He's come in and he's got onto a set of softs. So does he feel he can go 23 laps? Certainly can. He did 22 or 20 earlier. We've seen the tyres go to 2022. We've got less weight on there. I do question why Bass went onto a set of mediums when clearly had the unless he didn't have, it could be that he didn't have a set of softs available, so he had to go onto a set of mediums. I think that could well be the case, actually. So that's why he's on the set of mediums, but he's pretty much safe there. So I'd expect the Ferraris to retake, or certainly Bahrein to move back up into second place as we see Damie Hartman and Nicky Visser pit. That will also give the opportunity, obviously, to John Donkel. But he needs to pit as well. We've got Guido Airshine. He's on 26 laps on those softs, and you can see it's starting to slide, so he's going to pit pretty soon. Ruud Windahl has actually DNF'd, so Williams driver is out. Not too sure what happened there. And again, unfortunately, I can't refer back to it. So had I had my assistant, hopefully we might have been able to pick that, or my right-hand man, rather, to assist me. This, but not here, but so we'll soldier on through. Hopefully it's not affected too much. We certainly had an exciting race, and we were 35 laps of 57. We're 2/3 of the way through this 2018 F1 Tonight Grand Prix at Bahrain, season 1, and it certainly has been exciting. We've had a number of DNFs and some retirements as well, so let's run through those. Unfortunately, we've lost on nearly half the field. So Ruud Windahl for Williams, he's DNF'd. Mark Torres still in, Marcel Draining still in. Jorna Portman's back stuck in the pits again. So rather unfortunate there. We've had Ryan Dronig for Williams, he's dropped out. Martin Parder Cooper for Red Bull, he's dropped out. Then we have Miguel France. Marcel France, sorry, for Toro Rosso. He's dropped out. Daniel Van Tol and Xavier Zima, the Mercedes drivers, out straight away before even the end of lap 1. So not too sure what's happening. Ryan Droning is not DNF, but I think he may still be in the race, so not too sure what's happening there. Codemasters, please sort this out. So let's get back to the top, and as I said, Nicky Visser's moved up into second place, Bahrein into third place, but Nicky will be coming in soon, and that means then that what we'll have is Seb first, Bass second, and I would suspect Damie Hartman will move again up into third place because he's pitted and going on to a set of softs. So it's all a question of what happens with other drivers now, but certainly it's looking pretty safe at the moment for Ferrari for first and second place, and looking pretty good as well for Haas, for Damie Hartman, for taking third on the podium. We do still have 21 laps to go, so anything can happen, and it has been known to, so we'll see what happens there. But let's ride with Nicky Visser at this moment in time. We'll see some position changes here. Guido Airshine moving up into 7th place as Mark Stappers went into the pits, as did Marco Pullen as well. So that's released Guido. He's done well there because he's done the undercut. He was behind, so he pitted a little bit earlier. Nice little undercut there from Guido. Brings him out in 7th place. So Boy Williamson for Haas, he's doing well, but he's going to need to pit soon as well. He's on a set of softs, 18 laps, probably go maybe 22, possibly 23 laps, but he will have to pit. But Damie Hartman there, he's done a good solid race for Haas. He's maintained the place, hasn't lost his cool. Taking it good, nice and easy. So he's pretty much assuring himself, barring any incident, of third place this evening. 20 laps to go. It still could change. We could see anything happen. And as I said, we've seen it way too many times before as well. But Bahrein, he'll be moving up to second place as Nicky Visser will come in. Now the question here is, where is Nicky going to come out? And I would suspect he's certainly going to come out sixth place at the very least. He might even be able to pull fifth. So he needs to look at that. And Seb Bogart sets the provisional fastest time of the race so far, a 1:30. So we're starting to approach. I think we'll probably equal those qualifying times, but we certainly will approach them. Let's have a look here. And see what we've got. They're coming round now. We're pretty much seeing here, actually, because I said, obviously, in Q3 that Damie just came out of nowhere, which he did. But interestingly enough, we're seeing here is pretty much carbon copy of what we saw Q3. So, Sebastian Bogart first place, Nicky Visser provisional second, he will be coming in, Bahrein third, and Damie Hartman is fourth. They will be moving up respectively once Nicky comes in. So, won't be too long before that will be happening. We're on lap 39 now, the 57. 18 laps to go. There we have it. Bahrein actually makes the move before Nicky Visser makes the pit, so clearly those tyres not too well at all. Nicky's looking to try and challenge him, but quick look how they're looking. Certainly wear on the inside fronts of those tyres. Virtual safety car is out, so that's why we see the cars slowing down. This is the third virtual safety car of the race, so looks like, unfortunately, we do have the safety car glitch from 2017 not being resolved and reoccurring now for 2018, and it's such a shame. It detracts from this fantastic game and this fantastic sport. Good a job as Codemasters do. Unfortunately, I do feel they could do better in these situations. We've seen a lot of investment from this league in this championship and in the league, and we were actually doing the calculations the other day. You think about it, you've got 20 drivers all buying a copy of the game on day one. Around about £54 per game, and that's not including kit as well. So you know, you're looking at investment of low three figures, but still four figures, but still an investment. And then to unfortunately have these incidents where you got bugs that are reoccurring from a previous edition, you've got new bugs coming in, or adaptations of old bugs when it comes to cars pitting and not showing as still racing. And we still do have that if we scroll down there to Jerome Portman. So, you know, it really does detract from the race. But that said, we're still going strong. But we need to have these issues resolved, because if they're not resolved, I don't think the Liberty Media will look kindly on it. They're looking to grow their esports series. And if they can't count on their premier developer, then I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that will be looking to take the job on. So heed my words, Codemasters, please, please, please look at addressing these issues, because the growth of the game is not in single player, it's in multiplayer, and it's also in broadcast and commentary. So there we have it. Nicky Visser in the pits. Davey Hartman going past him now. He'll be taking third place. So lap 41 of 57. Got Sebastian Bogart first place. He's on a set of softs, 7 laps clean. Basterbreed second place on a set of mediums, 9 laps clean. Davey Hartman for Haas on a set of softs, 6 laps clean. They've only got 16 laps to go. So clearly all these tyres will see them through to the end. Nicky Visser coming out, should maintain that 4th place. His next closest to him is Boy Williamson in the second Haas. And what a great race actually from Boy Williamson. Let's have a quick look here and see position changes that he's had. Look at that, 7 places. Nicky Visser 5 places as well for Sauber there. So great show from both these drivers, and he's hoping they maintain that place, because they really have done very well indeed. So Boy Williamson for Haas, second driver, had a horrible incident right at the start of the race, completely lost his front wing, and has recovered and come back, and he's looking to finish his car in 5th place. Virtual safety car still out. Nicky Visser, was it a new one? I think he's still out. Or it could be our 4th. Nicky Visser for Sauber, great show from him as well, maintaining 4th place. But Davey Hartman stuck in there solid for Haas. So valuable points for Team Haas here this evening. And as it stands at this moment in time, they'll be looking to take 25 points away for the team. And that was certainly great help for them. I mean, Ferrari are currently in the lead with 25 points from last week's race, obviously just the one race, but doing a great job, and they certainly should maintain that. Williams were second. Unfortunately, don't think they're going to be able to maintain that. Mercedes were third. Sauber, I would think, would be overtaking them. We could see potentially Sauber actually move up into 2nd place in the constructors after the second race of this championship. It's a really great show, and I'm just going to try and see if I can get John Donkel in for the close of this race. He's still in, and see if we can get him in here. It would be great to get in these feedback on this race and on some of the issues that we've got here. I can't see. She's aligned or not. So invite has been sent. We'll soon see if he is. So let's get back into this race. Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3. Okay, so virtual safety car is off. We're back racing. We're with our race leader. This is lap 43 of 57. 13 laps to go for this 2018 F1 Tonight. Season 1, Race 2 at Bahrain. Ferrari dominating this race from the start and from qualification as well. Really great show from them. Strategically, they've done very well. Basterbreed, he's gone onto a set of mediums. I expect him to go on a set of softs. I think that could just be doing with his allocation and use of the tyres. Davey Hartman for Haas did a fantastic job. Wasn't anywhere in Q1 and Q2. And then suddenly, well, I say wasn't anywhere. Obviously, he did get through to Q2, but suddenly in Q3 jumped up there, put in a fantastic time, put him 3rd on the grid, and he's maintained that place. But Nicky Visser for Sauber, well, he's moved up 5 places. So he did start in 9th place. He's moved up 5 places. Guido Erschein is now moved back up to 5th place. Oh dear, have we lost? We've lost John Dunkel. Oh no. Yeah, John Dunkel was trying to invite him in. We did, we've lost quite a number of drivers, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. But Guido Erschein has now moved up into 5th place in the Renault, so I'm sure he'll be glad of that. I'm just trying to work out who we actually lost there. Yeah, it was Ruud. It was it Ruud Window? No, we lost him earlier. Okay, let's have a quick look on here. So, okay, pulling. Not too sure what happened there, but again, it could be the glitch on the game. Hopefully not. So Guido Erschein for Renault. He's moved up into 5th place. We have 13 laps to go. Boy Williamson. Oh, that's it. The Haas driver. So Boy Williamson, he's in 6th place. Let's just quickly check. Okay, I've got a horrible feeling that I've had a number of changes here which I wasn't expecting, but still. So Boy Williamson, as I said, he's done great. He obviously lost that place to, yeah, and that's because he came into the pits, so he lost that place to the Renault driver. So he's gained 6 places, was 7th, he was in 5th place. There we go now. So yeah, Boy Williamson came into the pits, he lost 6th place, but it's all a question of whether Guido will be able to go to the end of this race. He could still get that place back. We know that the Super Soft is certainly going to be good for those 14 laps, 13 laps that he needs to go for. Guido's on a set of softs. They should be good for 20 odd laps. So he might well go through to the race. Let's watch. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. And Boy Williamson in the Haas goes off. Oh no, what a great shame that was. And it looks like he actually went off round about turn 12, went into the wall, and I think we may have lost a number of drivers there. So just as I was saying, commentators curse. Boy Williamson for Haas, 2nd driver. DNFs on turn 12. We just caught that. So great shame there. Oh no. And we now have, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers that have DNF'd or dropped out. So awful shame there. I think we've had quite a number of technical and connection issues as well, but that clearly wasn't. He just went into the wall there, pushing that little bit too hard. Great shame there, doing so well. But that then allows Max Stappers in the McLaren to move up to 6th place. Marco Pullen in the 2nd Sauber. He now moves up into 7th place. Peter Phillips for McLaren, he's up into 8th place. Jerome Portmer, well, I think he is still racing, but I'm not too sure. As with Boy Williamson as well, and Marcel Droning still racing. I'm not too sure what's happening with the drivers from 7 down. We did have this issue last week in Australia, although it wasn't broadcast on the YouTube. And but we had some real technical issues with a glitch for the pit lane, and it looks like it has reared its head once more for this race. I sincerely hope that friends, I would like to say, inverted commas, at Codemasters, you produced a great game. Please resolve these issues on your multiplayer, because it is just really detracting from the game when you're not sure if what you're looking at is actually accurate. I'm pretty sure that we're looking safe, certainly up till 7th place. So, and certainly 1st, 2nd and 3rd. So I am certain that we've got Seb Bogot for Ferrari 1st, Basm de Breen for Ferrari 2nd, and Damien Hartmann for Haas is in 3rd. Nicky Visser for Sauber is in 4th. Guido Erschein for Renault is in 5th. Mark Stappers for McLaren is in 6th. Marco Pullen, who we're riding with now for Sauber, is in 7th. Peter Phillip for McLaren is 8th. John is online, so hopefully John might be able to answer my question. I did send an invite. Let's see if I can send him another one while quickly checking to this. Okay. So we can get him. Another invite sent to the host. So hopefully John will come in and then he can give us a little bit of feedback as to what is actually happening in the race and this layout or field as I have it at this moment in time. John, good evening. First things first. You're out. What happened? So was that on turn 12? Yeah, it is tricky because you've got that change of camber and direction, and if you lay down too much speed, your car just spins out, doesn't it? Well, we've seen a number of drivers go that way. We've also seen, unfortunately, some issues at the start of the race. Can you shed any light on what happened there? Because by the looks of it, we saw that the Mercedes drivers were at the back of the field. We saw that where was it? The Haas driver, where am I? Oh, okay. Quick change on that. Bear with me one. See what we can do here. Okay, it should be 1 second. Okay, that should now be on. So apologies, I was joined by John there, hadn't activated his voice there, but John, you were saying you went out on turn 12.
Sorry about it.
As did a number of drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, and turn 12, I was hitting the curb on the inside.
Yeah, so we've lost a number of drivers on that turn 12, as you were saying, because of that change of camber. It's really difficult to judge it, and you have to be so careful to lay down the power. But we've just been watching here, and Boy Williamson is out as well, but he was putting in a great race and recovering. We saw that there was an incident at the start of the race, right at the start. Can you shed any light on what happened there? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, what I was seeing, Peter was on the right side of me. His car stalled for a minute. So everyone at the back of him was colliding because he just couldn't get away.
Right, so unfortunately Peter stalled on the start, and then that caused the collision that we saw in the background towards the tail end of the field then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's the I've just realised I've activated the chat on here, so let me quickly turn that off. So we've seen that. We've seen a great race. Obviously, the Ferraris have dominated from the start. Damie's put in a good race as well, the Haas driver there. Good strategy. He's maintained that place. But Nicky Visser in the Sauber, great result for him as well, isn't it? Because, I mean, he's moved up 5 places, starting in 9th place, and he's maintained. There's been some great fighting between for him for that 4th and 5th place as well.
Yeah, definitely. Since last season, he really picked up his pace. He managed to get a good car control, so yeah, he's getting up there.
Certainly a great result from him. He'll be picking up points. He came 4th last week in Australia. He's picking up another 4th place provisionally at this moment in time. So by my calculations, I think that will actually, after the end of this race, should put him 2nd in the championship.
Yeah, I don't have the results by hand now, but yeah, that's pretty much what it could be, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be on 24 points, so I think it will put him 2nd in there. Guido, for the Renault driver, obviously did well in Q2, didn't quite match it in Q3. didn't have a great start, but again, due to retirements, he's been able to move up the field as well. So valuable points being picked up for Renault there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Guido,
goes
he did in Australia a really good job qualifying on 3rd place, I think. And now, this track was is a little bit harder for him. So yeah, still putting up a good race pace.
Well, we're just riding with Marco Pullen now. He's 3/10 off the back of Mark Stappers in the McLaren, and Mark Stappers, they're on equal tyres. They've both done 13 laps on the softs, but he's closing down on the gap on him. So it could be that he's starting to deploy his ERS. And another question for you is how is this affecting now that you're having to control the ERS and also the tyre temperature, the actual carcass of the tyre? Is that obviously just adding another element of difficulty into the game when you're actually driving in these races?
Oh yes, it really is. It's very difficult to control these cars at a right temperature, at the right moment to deploy your ERS, to harvest the energy. You have to control so many settings during a race or during a qualifying run to get the optimum pace out of the car. So yeah, it's really difficult to manage all these options at the same time and at the right time, and yeah, just putting it out on the tarmac at the right pace.
Yeah, absolutely. But is it? Do you think it's adding another element of, or another tier, another level of enjoyment? Because obviously it does make it that little bit harder.
Yeah, definitely. It's really joyful to trying to control these cars. It's really getting up there on the real feeling to see how the cars react on these levels compared to the real F1. Yeah, it's really fun to try to get the hang of it and feel the way around.
Okay, so we've discussed obviously the pluses to the 2018 game. Let's have a look at the negatives now, Joe, because I mean we've seen virtual safety car, I think, deployed at least four times, possibly 5 times during the course of this race. This was an issue that we had in the 2017 as well, and it doesn't look as if it's been resolved, does it?
No, yeah, there's still a lot of bugs in the game. Unfortunately, yeah, for us it's only the 2nd race in our season, so we hope to the game developers, they will get to manage the problems and solve these issues. Yeah, but for sure we hope, yeah, actually these problems remain the same or get better, but definitely not getting worse.
Certainly not, and we've seen again the recurrence of the issue that we had last week with regards to cars in the pits. Jerome Portmer, I don't know if you can see here, I think he's still in the race.
Yeah, he is in the race. I'm seeing that you see him in the pits.
Yeah, there we have a pit shot of him. He's been stuck in the pits for 20 laps.
Yeah, I can see him drive. He's still in 4th place, only a 2nd behind.
So he's in 4th
Nicky is
place.
2nd behind Portma.
So see, now this is the thing that's detracting. If you look at my feed here, I've got Nicky Visser in 4th place and doing a great job, but yet now you're telling me that Jerome Portma in the Toro Rosso is actually ahead of him, and that Nicky is actually in 5th place.
Yes.
Okay, Codemasters, please sort this out.
For sure.
Because it really is, I mean, again, I want to go back to this, but they've done some great improvements on the game. They've done some great improvements to the single player version of the game, the championship version of the game. But multiplayer, to me, I believe, John, and I think you believe as well, that's where the future is, on live broadcast, on showcasing esports and the series, and showing it like you would do a conventional real-world F1 race.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is to get as close as we can to the real-world F1 racing. We're just managing that by, as you can see, compared to the last season, we all changed our names to our real names, so everyone can see who's driving which car. Yeah, definitely it's now up to the game developers to manage it all well and make it a great game and getting it as far as possible ready for good broadcasting and making it good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm just going to go on board with Nicky, because if you say that Jerome's a second ahead of him, I just want to see if I can get an in-car view on track. So I'm just going on the in-car, and I can see, looks like a Red Bull or something ahead of him. Let's just have a quick look here. See, I've got the McLaren ahead of him at the moment, which I guess is probably Peter Phillips, because he's probably a lap behind. But you say that Jerome is still ahead of him. So Jerome is in 4th place, Nicky Visser is in 5th place, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Nicky is 7/10 behind Portman.
Yeah, and we're not seeing that at all. What I can see is the McLaren ahead of both of them, which is, I think, is Peter Phillips. So, yeah. And again, we can't do a rear view on these cars as well. When we go in car, we used to have the ability to do a rear view, but we cannot do rear view. The other thing as well that we can't do is we can't follow cars once they've actually crashed. So whereas in 2017, if a car crashed into the barrier, we could refer back to it, see where it crashed into the barrier, and at least give some reporting on how it did that and how it DNF'd. We can't do that this year. We can only do that if we happen to actually be viewing that car at the time. And again, I think, you know, that is detracting from the broadcast capabilities. You know, we want to see where the cars go out and potentially try and figure out why they went out. Yeah,
it's definitely a negative side on the game. What I was hoping for this year, that we would be able to get a replay broadcast, so you can refer back to accidents, what happened, or issues that concerned. But yeah, it definitely we do not have that option yet. So yeah, let's be hopeful.
Well, it is a very important part of the real world broadcast, and it would certainly be great to see that, at least the ability to refer back to the vehicles, if not a replay option. I can understand a replay option might be a little bit more difficult. But let's get back on track now. So we've got Seb Bogart for Ferrari is in 1st place. They've only got 3 laps to go. Bas de Breen is in 2nd place for Ferrari. Dami Hartmann for Haas is in 3rd place. Jerome Portmer for Toro Rosso is in 4th place.
No, Nicky just took 4th place.
So Nicky is now in 4th place. Jerome Portmer for Toro Rosso is in 5th. Guido Erschein for Renault is therefore in 6th. Mark Stappers for McLaren is 6th. Marco Pullen for Sauber is 8. Peter Philip for McLaren is 9. And is it Miguel? I can never get his name right, unfortunately. Miguel Tony. I keep calling him Torres. Miguel Tormi for Force India, your co-driver, effectively, is in 11th place. And Marcel Droning for Renault is in 12th place.
Yeah, 11th place.
He's in 11th place. Okay, well I've got, oh yeah, right, I've got Jerome Portman still sitting in the pits, that's why. Okay, so we've seen the Williams drivers, the new drivers, Ruud Windahl and Ryan Droning. They had a great start to the season.
Oh, and, yeah, for sure.
Ryan unfortunately went out early. This wasn't his race. I don't think Bahrain will be one of his favourite tracks. He went out quite early. But Ruud Windahl was doing really, really well. He was really fighting quite well against Nicky Visser, and I guess in return also Jerome Portmer. Put in a fantastic race. Did go out obviously in 12th, but for a start of the season, 2nd race, okay, they have DNF, but they're doing really well, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, in Australia, where they had the first race of the season, and actually the first race of the entire competition at first hand. Yeah, they did really well, and yeah, Ryan was just had the upper hand above Ruud. But yeah, for sure, they both doing a really great job.
Indeed, and it's great to see new drivers coming in. So we're riding now, final, last lap, effectively. We're just riding with Marco Pullen as he's closing in, it looks to me, on Mark Stappers in the McLaren in this final lap. So let's go and do the final lap with Seb Bogart as he's coming round now. Yep, coming round turn 13. So he'll be starting lap 57 very shortly, but Ferrari wow, what can we say? I mean, we know that
Yeah,
these two
they're just
drivers
going
they're
ahead
great.
where they left off last season, still managing
Yeah,
to
they
get a
dominated.
front row
I mean,
lockout and doing a
yeah.
1-2 finish on this circuit. Yeah, that's really amazing.
It is a great show and a great strategy call. They work very well together. They stuck with the Ferrari, and I think that's done really well. And they are starting to set their dominance. Obviously, Damien Hartman in the Haas there. We saw Haas come up at the end of last season with who was effectively then Portma, Ruben Baumann, and we're missing him this race, but hopefully he'll be back in the next few races. We hope to see him again soon, and if he's listening, we send him our best, and we really look forward to getting him back and showing us what he can do. Obviously, this year he is with Red Bull, so it'll be interesting to see how he actually does with that once he actually comes back in. But the Haas car, it is a fast car, and it does certainly suit the fast tracks, doesn't
Yellow
it?
sector 2, Miguel stopped.
Yep.
Oh, Miguel's losing his 10th place.
Yeah, he came off. So Marcel Droning has now taken him. He's lost his 10th place to Marcel Droning in the Renault. But let's get on board with Sebastian Bogart. He comes around turn 15 now to finish the race. Seb Bogart for Ferrari takes first place. Great job from Ferrari.
Really good
His teammate Bas de Breen just coming round turn 14 now into 15. So Bas de Breen will be taking second place for Ferrari. Great result for them. Damien Hartman now for Haas, coming round the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. Haas, Damien Hartman taking third place. Nicky Visser, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think will take fourth place.
Yes.
Jerome Portma will take
Coming
fifth.
up on the last turn.
Visser takes fourth place again. Jerome Portma, does he take fifth? This is where it all goes a bit wrong.
Yeah, he's coming up on the main straight.
Takes sixth.
Also, Peter is finishing ninth.
Yep. So there we have it. Jerome Portma finishes fifth place, even though we've got him sitting in the pits. Please, Codemasters, sort this out. So that is the final now for our F1 tonight. 2018 Season 1 Race 2 lockout from start to finish from Ferrari. Seb Bogart takes the win. His teammate Bas de Breen takes second place, and third place goes to Damien Hartman in the Haas. Great race. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it too. Codemasters, if you're listening, sort it out, please. We've got race 3 next week. Where are we next week, John?
China.
So China next week, and that is certainly going to be not a strong track for Ferrari and or indeed Haas. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Well, join us next week, same time. Not the same place, because we'll be in China. We hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. John, do you want to say goodnight to the people?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone who's watching, and hoping to see you everyone next week.
Indeed. We hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again all next week. We've enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching.
And have a great one.